Yo, what is up, my friends? Kevin Chicha here, and today I want to talk to you about how to set up goals properly and how to stick to it. And this is the most important thing because a lot of people are going to tell you, like, if you just Google it right now, Google how to set up goals, people are going to tell you, like, oh, you need the SMART acronym and the SWOT acronym, and then you need to assign a certain point in time in 5 years from now and assign a video and a picture and a smell and a noise and all that, right? And they give you a lot of, like, the frameworks and the systems and the method to set up your goals. But then it's further down the line. But then when you have to achieve those goals, you're not getting there. And the reason why, because you don't have a game plan. And everyone is going to tell you, like, oh yeah, you need to use positive psychology and think positively and the law of attraction. And right. And you're going to sit at home, you're just going to watch a movie, and then you think you're going to get somewhere. You're not, right? It's like me saying, like, in 2 years from now, I want to get a house. I want to buy a house. And then I'm just going to sit here and just be like, oh, I'm going to buy a house, right? I'm thinking about it. I'm imagining the house and my wife and my kids and whatever, like all those kind of things. But in 2 years from now, I guarantee you, if I don't take action, if I don't have a game plan to get there, I'm not going to get there. And the reason why is because you need to take the necessary steps in order to grow and be worthy of getting to those goals. Now, take it from someone who has been 85% successful with his goals, right? And I already see those, like, smart asses saying, like, oh, 85%, it should be 100%, right? That's bullshit, because no one gets to 100%. We're not perfect, right? We're human. And sometimes you have to sacrifice something, and sometimes you just don't do something else. That's all right, right? Don't stress over it. And that's one of the biggest problems when someone starts following a schedule. Is like, oh, I only did 30% this week. Oh man, it's too hard. I'm not going to do it anymore. Right? No, you have to always strive to get a little bit more. Like 30, this week it's 30%, next week it's 31%. The week after is going to be 35%, right? And slowly by slowly raising it, right? So here's my story around setting up goals, following a schedule, and having a game plan. I got discharged from the Army when I was 21 years old, right? And it was about 9 years ago. The funny thing is that it's not funny. It's just like, it's a pain in the ass. The Army micromanages every single second of the day, right? So you wake up in the morning, you have to brush your teeth, wash your face, and then go for training and working out and eating and training again and patrols and whatever. And then you go to sleep, and then they wake you up in the middle of the night to go for a mission and go for a patrol, et cetera, et cetera. And you don't have your life, right? Your life doesn't belong to you. And it's a pain in the ass. And then when I got discharged from the Army, I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Like, it's my freedom. It's my life. Now I have my life back. I can do whatever I want. So what I did was basically sitting in front of my computer for 6 months straight, right? Sitting in front of my computer watching 4 to 6 movies a day, depending on my mood and the time I woke up in the day, right? In the morning. So I would watch 4 to 6 movies a day. You realize that it's like 10 hours of watching movies. Right? It's almost like a full-time job, but just watching movies, not doing anything, not getting shit done in my life, right? And at that point, I didn't give a shit about it because I didn't have a social life. I didn't have a social circle. I was shy, neurotic. I had social anxiety. So for my part, staying at home in my comfort zone was great, right? I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to face my fear. I didn't have to do nothing, right? So for 6 months, I was just watching movies, scrolling down Facebook, and then that's it. And then my parents came in and they're like, hey, Kev, you need to get your ass out of your seat and just go find a job. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to. They're like, yeah, you have to, right? We're not asking you. You leave here, you have to go find a job. So I found a part-time job, and I was working like 4 or 5 hours a day. And here's the thing. I would be at work, and it pissed me off because still, like, someone else owned my life. Right? Someone else told me, like, you need to call this number of people. You need to do X, Y, and Z, right? And I was working in a pizzeria. I was doing some telemarketing. I was doing a lot of things. And when I would go to work, the only thing I would do was the only thing I would focus on was what next movie am I going to watch, right? What movie am I going to watch next? This is the only thing I had in mind. And I went back home, watched the movies, and scroll down Facebook again, and then watch, rinse, repeat every day, right? And then I turned 22, and I was like, you know what? That's bullshit. Like, my life is not going anywhere, and I don't have friends, right? I felt miserable with that, right? I don't have friends, don't have a girlfriend. I'm not doing anything. I'm not getting anything done. So I found out this amazing community where I learned how to I learned everything about social interactions and how to be more social and talk to people, et cetera, et cetera. And the cornerstone of whatever we learned was to actually set up the goals for yourself and have a schedule. And a schedule saved my life, right? Set up the goals and have a schedule. Now, a lot of people are going to tell you, like, yeah, having a schedule is basically to achieve the goals, and it's not, right? Let me tell you something. Having a schedule is the only reason for having a schedule is to have the mental state that you need to have in order to achieve your goals. So a schedule, of course, is going to give you the mind map and the roadmap to actually do X, Y, and Z, but it's the mental state that will help you to achieve those goals. So you have to have a schedule, but you also have to have goals. And you also have to have the mental state in order to get there. So I created my schedule, and it sucked. And I'm going to go over, in a few minutes, I'm going to go over the reason why it sucked and the reason why most people fail with that. But it sucked. It sucked a lot. And the reason why is because I didn't know how to set up the goals and how to build my schedule. Now, here's the thing. When you set up the goals, you want to be as specific as possible of the necessary steps in order to get to this goal, right? You don't want to just say like those SMART and s.w.o.t and all those kind of acronyms saying like, in 5 years from now, I'm going to get a beautiful car and a beautiful house and I'm going to marry a beautiful woman, blah, 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 right? You don't want to do that because it's not going to be, it's not going to be helpful for you. What you need to do, and I'm taking an example of my life, right? Right now, and if just to give you an example, just to give you an idea of what a schedule did for me and how to set up the goals, how setting up goals actually helped me with my life. I was actually able to achieve amazing things, right? I graduated from a master and a bachelor degree in psychology. I was able to turn into a dance instructor in a really short time and fill up classes of 40, 50 people in class, right? In a really short time, like 2-3 months, right? I was able to turn from being a kid with social anxiety and being shy and neurotic into someone that everyone looks at him and is like, they don't believe in it. They're like, you're a social monster, right? How can you be like neurotic or whatever, right? Because I was able to set up the goals properly and execute on them. Now, when you want to set up goals, you need to think for yourself, what is it that you want to achieve, right? Forget about everything you learn, right? The SMART, the s.w.o.t. What is it that you want to achieve? For my part, for example, I want to be able to have a kicking business. And right now, my long-term goal, and this is the first step, the long-term goal, which is something that it takes more than a week to achieve. So my long-term goal is that I'm going to get by the end of next year, I'm going to get to a 10K a month, right? $10,000 a month. That's my goal, right? The way I'm going to do it is to break up this big, hairy goal into short-term goals, which is those little steps that I need to take. So maybe it's posting and engaging on Facebook for like 3 hours a day and having 5 strategy calls with people. And maybe it's about writing 3 emails a day so that I can send it to my list and set it up in an autoresponder, et cetera, right? This is the short-term goals. Now, let's take an example of like you being a student, right? And this is what I did for myself as well. What I did was, so I was a student. I had to do my master's degree and my bachelor degree as well. And I knew that if I wanted to graduate, I had to have great notes, right? And I graduated in cum laude, whatever you call it, right? I graduated like the first of my promotion, whatever. Like I was the first person in my class to get like the best grades. The way I did it was to actually take the goal, which is graduate, right? I broke it down into more specific goals, which is get 90% in 90% out of 90. I was about to say 90% out of 100%. Never mind. 90% in every single course. 90% and higher, right? If I didn't get it, I would take the exam again, right? 90% out of 100%. Now, how would I get there? Well, I have to study, right? I have to study and put the effort into it. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, well, It's easy. You need to study 10 hours a day, and then that's it. You just write something and just like study 10 hours a day. No, it's not. It's not. Because if you do that, you're not going to get there. You're not going to do it. You're not going to be able to learn and be productive in what you're doing, right? If you want to get there, you have to actually be specific, super specific about what you have to do at any second of the day, which means that instead of saying like 3 hours of studying, you have to say like 1 hour of history about the Holocaust, and 1 hour of English language, and 1 hour of, and I'm going to work in English language. I'm going to work on preposition, preposition, all the words like, okay. And then 1 hour of whatever, I don't know, math, right? Algebra, right? 1 hour of algebra. So you need to be super specific with your goals. So you want to set the big hairy goal, which is graduate from a study, and then break it down into what it takes to graduate from your study. So I have to succeed in X, Y, and Z, and then break it down to smaller steps at a time. 1 hour of this study a day, 1 hour of that study a day, 1 hour of this topic a day, 1 hour of the next topic a day. It's the same thing I did with dancing classes, right? Filling out the dancing classes and becoming an instructor. When I started dancing, I was like, you know what? I want to be an instructor. I love dancing. I love teaching. I'm going to be an instructor. And I became an instructor within less than a year and a half, right? I became an instructor because I was working out and training and doing everything that I could in order to be a good dancer, right? And the way I did it was to actually say, okay, I'm going to every single class that I can. And I used to dance like 10, 12 hours a week, going to classes and parties, etc., 10 to 12 hours a week. But it wasn't enough for me. What I had to do is just work out and train for half an hour or an hour every single day in order to become good at dancing, right? And then I could dance, whatever, etc., etc. And then after a year, almost a year and a half, I became a teacher and instructor. And then I fill up classes like this. It was simple. I had 50 people in my class, right? Just because I was able to set the goal and stick to it because I had a schedule. Now, here's the thing. Once you have your goals, what do? You build a schedule. The schedule itself is to give you to the mental state you need in order to achieve the goals. That's what I said earlier. But it's also giving you a roadmap where you can say, like, you don't have to think, because if you have more options, this is the basic underlying idea of a schedule. The more options you have, the less action you're going to take, the less successful you're going to get. And the reason why is because, think about it. You go to a restaurant, you have the menu and you have like 200 dishes. You're not going to be able to choose. You're going to be like, oh, I want a hamburger, and then I want a pizza and pasta and fish and whatever. Like, it's going to be too complicated to pick from it. As opposed to if you have a menu with 2-3 dishes, and then, or only one dish, right? It's the best, but you have like 2-3 dishes and you're like, it's easier to choose. Because the more options you take away, the more freedom and the easier it gets in order to pick the right choice that you want. So a schedule is something that you make up a week prior to the activity. So you set it up and you plan it for a whole week ahead, and then you can just show up to the activity. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to sit in front of your computer and say like, well, what do I need to do right now? Should I study? Should I scroll down Facebook? Should I take a break? You have so many options, right? You want to have one simple option to get from point A to point B and just show up for the activity. Simple as that, right? I have a schedule on my phone. I'll just show you that, right? I have a schedule on my phone in right here, right? If you look at here, right, this is my schedule. And then it's simple. It shows me what I have to do in every single second of the day, every single hour of the day. And at first I was pissed because I was like, oh, I just got out of the army and now I have to follow a schedule. It's the same thing. But here's the thing. A schedule is what I want to do. I make the day that I want to have in order to get what I want to have, what I want to get in my life, right? So a schedule is not about restricting yourself and killing yourself and choking yourself, whatever. A lot of people are saying like, oh, and I'm going to show you my schedule in a few minutes and you're going to see that. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh my God, right? But I know the feeling, right? You don't have to think this way because when you have a schedule, it's supposed to give you the day that you want to have, right? Not the day that you don't want to have and then you feel like obligated to have it. Obviously, you need to do some chores and whatever inside of it, right? You need to clean up the house, whatever it is. But those are things that are mandatory anyways. You want your house to be clean. You don't want your house to be a mess, right? So those are things that you have to do anyways, although you don't necessarily want to do it, right? So the underlying basic thing about a schedule is to actually remove every single option that you have so that you can focus on one thing at a time. And you just show up for the activity and then that's it. That's all you need to do. Okay, so now here's the thing. Before I'm going to show you my schedule and tell you like how I built it and like give you a walkthrough on how to build it, there are 3 reasons why people fail with their schedules. And the 3 reasons are those. The first one is that your schedule is too demanding. The second one is that your schedule is not demanding enough. And then the last one is that you have poor goals, poor preparation, poor goals, poor expectations in your life, right? So let's start with the too demanding or not enough demanding, right? Here's the thing. If you want to grow, and this applies for every single thing in your life. If you want to grow, you have to be outside of your comfort zone, but not too much. Because if you're going too much outside of your comfort zone, you're going to be frustrated, you're going to be paralyzed, and then you're going to go back to your comfort zone and not want to take any action anymore, right? So in order to grow, you have to have like this little of discomfort and this little of like higher expectations from yourself that you can actually do right now, that you need to work a little bit to get there, right? You don't want to have like a huge gap and then like the discrepancy is huge. Now I'm not going to do anything, right? You just want to like a little gap that you know that from point A to point B is just a little step, right? Just one step, a baby step. And then all you're going to do is just improve every time. Improve your whole life, right? Because you have this little discomfort that you know you can get there, but it's a little bit hard right now, right? But you know you can get there. As opposed to having a huge discomfort and then you're like, I'm never going to get there, right? There's no way I'm going to get there, right? So with that in mind, when your schedule is still demanding, then you have a huge gap and you have like, oh, I have to do X, I have to do Y, and every like 30 seconds I have to whatever, like I have to study for this and study for that and do this and do the chores and whatever. It's not the life that you want. And therefore you're not going to get it and you're going to be frustrated and then you're going to be like, fuck this schedule, I'm not going to do it anymore, right? So you want to have a schedule that is not too demanding. But on the other hand, the next step, and that's what happened to me, right? The first thing is that I had shitty goals, shitty preparation, shitty goals, shitty expectations for myself. The next step was to actually be like, you know what? I'm going to go to the extreme. I'm going to have like a crazy schedule. And then it was too demanding. And I was rejecting my schedule. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm not going to have a schedule anymore. I don't want to have a schedule, right? It's too demanding. It's too hard. So what I did was to go to the other extreme and make it too light and not demanding enough. So I was just staying in my comfort zone. I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch movies for like 5 hours a day. And then I'm going to scroll down Facebook for like 2 hours. And then I'm going to work for like 2 hours. And that's it, right? Enough. And it's not, right? Because you're not taking the discomfort. You're not taking a step outside of your comfort zone. You're just staying in your comfort zone. That's all you do, right? So you're not going to get anywhere. And at the same time, you're not going to achieve anything. You're not going to achieve your goal. So you want this sweet spot. And a lot of people are going to say like, well, I don't know how to do it, right? Me neither, right? I didn't know how to do it. The only thing that is going to help you to get there and to understand where is the sweet spot is to actually trial and error, right? You're just going to try, fail until you have a schedule that you like and that is helping you achieve your goals and actually is fun to stick to, right? Because the discomfort is after a while it gets fun and you get used to it that you're just going to do it, right? So this is it. For my part, for example, when I was in high school, I didn't study, right? Even my I don't know how you call it in English, but like the graduation exams, etc. I wasn't even studying for that, right? I was studying like 1-2 hours a day, 2 hours the night before the exam, and then that's it. I couldn't study. I didn't like it. I didn't do anything. And then I got to college, and I went to the army. And in the army, you're not using your brain in studying something. You use your brain in tactical and whatever, like all those kind of things, activities. But you don't study. And then I got to college, and I was fucked. The first month or two, I was fucked. Right? I didn't know what to do. I was like, shit, I cannot study. And then having a schedule was like too much. So I had to actually increase it slowly by slowly and saying like, okay, today I'm going to study for like 5 hours a day. And then after a week, I'm going to study for like 5 hours and a half, 6 hours a day, 7 hours a day. And then I was able to study for like 14 hours straight for my studies because I trained myself. And this is the same thing you want to do with your schedule. Start slow, not too light, because too light is not conducive to anything, right? So start slow and then increase it slowly by slowly. And again, you're not gonna be able to do 100% and be successful 100%. I'm not successful still after 8 years for 100%. I have like 85%, 90%, but you should strive to always increase in 1%, 5%, 6%, whatever. Just always try to increase slowly by slowly and get to as much as you can, right? So now, a schedule, okay, so here's the thing, right? You need to set up the goals and then apply it to the schedule. Now I'm going to share my screen, switch over to my screen, and I'm going to show you exactly how my schedule looks like so that you can understand how to do it for yourself. What the hell is that? No, that's not what I want. There you go. Okay, great. All right, see, now I have some notification on my screen saying like you have jogging in Wing Chun, right? And that's something that I'm late for, but it's okay because the next thing is dinner and relax, and I can sacrifice from the relaxing time. Anyway, so let's go over it and let's do this way, and so that you can see the full thing. So the first thing was to actually set up my goals and understand what kind of goals that I want to have, right? I want to have, and the goals are in blue, right? I want to train in Wing Chun. I want to be better in Kung Fu. And I want to learn Spanish, right? I have my book here, right here. Every single morning, I go over my book in my lessons for 30 minutes. Those are goals, right? I want to be able to speak Spanish fluently. I want to be able to master Kung Fu, master Wing Chun, and then be able to fight it if I have to, or go to training and just have a great time at training instead of just saying like, oh, 1, 2, 3. I want to have fun, right? I want to have like master the skills that I need, right? Second thing is, go on Facebook, be successful in my business. And how do I do that? I browse, bookmark Facebook groups, and then I'm just gonna engage and talk to people, etc., etc. So I have the big goals, right? You've seen that, right? I want to be able to speak Spanish fluently. In order to do that, I want to practice Spanish every single day for 30 minutes. That's the way I'm going to get there, right? This is the short-term goal. And then I'm just applying it on my schedule. So the blue colors, and I'm really, really recommending really recommending that you have 3 colors, not more than that. Again, restriction, right? The blue color is for your goals. The red color is for your mandatory things. And then the green color is for just leisure time. Simple as that, right? Goals, mandatory, and leisure. That's all it is, right? Now you see my schedule, it looks packed, but it's not. In fact, I'm getting a lot of shit done. I'm having fun, and I'm having the day that I want. And again, I have like those green things, for example, this green thing that it doesn't want to, okay. Think about and plan my next offer, right? I have every single day, 1 hour, just sitting there, thinking about it. I have mapped out on the window because I don't have a whiteboard, but I have the window, and I'm writing on the window, and I'm mapping out everything that I want to do with my business. Simple as that, right? So, and I can sacrifice it because it's not mandatory. It's not a goal for me. It's just leisure. When I say leisure, it's not just watching a movie or whatever. Leisure time is something that you can sacrifice easily, no problem. If someone calls you up and you want to hang out with your friend, just do it, right? You're not going to do it on the blue side, or you're going to do it if you can sacrifice the green one. But if, for example, you're out of green ones and you sacrifice all the green ones, you're just going to stick to the blue, right? So the green ones are things that you can sacrifice easily. The blue ones are things that you can sacrifice, but it comes with a price. And the red one, however, the red one is something that you cannot sacrifice. You have to eat every day, right? You have to, you have to eat. That's basically it. Eating or spending time with your family that you have to. For example, here it's the Shabbat, right? Saturday is the Shabbat for the Jews. So I have to have lunch with my family, right? And friends. So it's great. It's red. I have to have dinner. I have to have dinner with my family on the Friday night, right? So those are the things that for whatever reason, I'm not going to miss it. I'm always going to do it. Whatever reason, I'm never going to miss it. Getting messages. Anyways, so basically you take a big goal that it's a long-term, takes you more than a week to achieve. You break it down into little short-term goals, which are the steps to get to your long-term goal. Half an hour of Spanish learning, 3 hours or 2 hours and a half, or 2 hours of browsing your Facebook groups and just engage with people, and 15 minutes each group, right? And I'm actually getting super, super specific with that, right? If I click on this one, it says cancel. Why the hell? I don't want to edit. My laptop, damn, it's taking a lot of time to load. Okay, so if I click on this one, it says browse bookmark Facebook group, 15 minutes each. What do? I comment, I engage, and react to posts, right? It tells me, and I'm being super specific about whatever that I'm doing with my time. It's not just saying like browse the bookmark Facebook group. It says specifically what I need to do. And then I just show up to the activity, and then simple as that, it's done, right? So this is my schedule, right? If you look at it, I have the blue, which is the goals. I have a goal of sleeping 8 hours a day, right? So you have the blue, you have the red color, and you have the green color. Simple as that. And then you get to the sweet spot where the schedule is good enough. You just keep growing, and that's it. Simple as that, right? So just to do a recap, you need a schedule in order to get to the mental state to be worthy of achieving your goals, right? Of getting whatever you want in life. I want a beautiful car. I want a beautiful house. I want to get married. I want to have kids. I want to get a good business, like working business that I make enough money that I want, that I make the amount of money that I want, right? I want to have succeed in my studies. I want to have get a promotion in my job, whatever it is, right? Whatever you want to have, that's the big long-term goal, the big hairy goal. And then you have to break it down to the short-term goals, which are the steps that you need to take in order to get to those goals. And then you apply it to a schedule, which is giving you the activities, which are the steps, which are training you to get to the mental state that you need to have in order to succeed with your, achieve your goals. Simple as that. All right, guys. So if you like this video, subscribe, press the notification button, and and then you're gonna be notified every single time that I release any content that you're gonna like, that is gonna help you in growing your business, your life, and getting better. So, guys, this is it for today. I hope you liked it. Let me just close this. Stop sharing. That's it, right? And I can see myself. All right. So I hope you liked it. Let me know down in the comment how's your schedule look like. What are your productive hacks that you have, and what do you do in order to set up the goals and be able to stick to it? And maybe we can learn from each other. So, guys, I'll talk to you later, and ciao.